Hello, beloveds. I am here today with Dr. Candace Holmes, and she is truly one of the blessings in my life. She is such a dear friend to me. So I am so excited and delighted to introduce her to the debt-free degree community because the things that she has access to that can help you is absolutely astounding. And so I just want to introduce you, Dr. Candace, and just say, talk to us for 15 minutes or whatever. I mean, like, I don't even want to ask you questions. I want to hear you talk all things teens and tweens and parents, and go for it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for having me, Dr. Oz. You know, you are a joy to me and a blessing in my life. So thank you so much. So I am a natural brain transformation specialist. So I have a therapy that helps to rewire the brain. People as young as 5 years old come to see me to get help. I got into this because my daughter was having challenges and was diagnosed with ADHD. She was struggling so much in school. I didn't think that she would go to college, and I was very heartbroken about that. And I came upon this therapy and got certified in it and used it with her. And she just finished her first year at Savannah State University. She got on the president's list for the first semester, so all A's. She got on the dean's list second semester with A's and B's, and she got a B in calculus. And I'm like, hey, you go, because I got a C in calculus in college and was thankful. So this therapy is phenomenal. And my goal is just to let parents know that it exists, because we have lots of challenges with mental health and wellness these days, and we've always had it. However, now people are talking more about it. And this therapy is drug-free, non-invasive. The results can last up to 30 years, and it's just wonderful. It's been around for over 50 years. So teenagers have a lot of stresses on them. I just had a talk earlier today, and what people don't understand is if we could have them walk around with a sign that says under construction, that's what's going on with their brains. It's not fully formed until we're 25. So the challenges that they have with being on the phone too long, or even being attentive and focusing in class, because our attention spans aren't as long as they used to be. So this therapy helps with that. You don't have to have a diagnosis in order to use it. I've had some people come to me who use it for enrichment. So when they are going to take those tests like the ACT, the SAT, even going in college or post-grad, MCAT, LSAT, G.R.I.T, it's a wonderful tool to make sure that your brain is functioning optimally. And that's what I do.
Okay, so there's like a million directions I could go in, seriously. Yes. So one of the things, so in terms of enrichment, in terms of, so how would it help if I have a student that wants to take the LSAT that does not have a diagnosis of, like you said, either ADHD or anxiety or whatever? How, not necessarily, I'm not asking the biology ways that it helps.
Sure.
But I'm saying, like, what are the results?
How do I go? Sure, yes. Sure. So typically, let's take myself for example. I use it for stress relief. So there are many different protocols that you can use this for. So there are certain ones that are just for peak brain performance and that enrichment. So the first thing we do is we see how the brain is functioning. We take it's called a brain mapping. So it's a non-invasive, and you just wear a cap and your brain waves are recorded. That report comes out, and from that, I can customize a program for you for whatever it is you have, whatever your goals are. So some come to me for that. Some come to me for, again, stress relief. Some of them aren't sleeping well. Some of them have headaches. So there are a multitude of ways to address that, but there are certain protocols that go with some symptomatology as well.
So go ahead. Okay.
Oh, so the training is very easy. I love it. It's simple. After I set you up, you will watch something on, one of those streaming devices for 30 minutes twice a day while you're connected and your brain is functioning in the area that we want it to be as far as the brain waves are concerned, the frequencies. Then what you're watching, you'll see it nice and brightly and you'll hear it well. When your brain starts going to that dysfunctional pattern, which is where we don't want you to be, then the screen will start to fade and you won't hear it as well. And that's the positive and negative reinforcement. So it happens almost instantaneously because this therapy is a sophisticated form of biofeedback. And that's why it's so lovely and it's non-invasive. So that's the part that we won't get very, scientific details about it. However, it is fabulous, and it's not like you have to sit there and concentrate. I had children who would bug their parents asking them, when are we going to go? Are we going to therapy today? Are we going to therapy today? Because it was 30 minutes of uninterrupted screen time, and their parents aren't getting on them about it. So they loved going to therapy.
Wow.
Yep. So that's my daughter would get upset with me if she was watching a movie and it wasn't over in 30 minutes. She wanted to continue. I said, no, sweetie, we have to stop it here, and then we'll come back, because you have to give the brain time to rest after you've completed the session, because it's been doing work. And so after the brain recovers, then we come back and we continue. So
wow. So 2 questions. One, you mentioned that the results can last up to 30 years, which kind of sounded a little bit like it's sort of a one and done, or sort of like when you're done, then it lasts 30 years. But then you have ongoing. So do you offer both, or do you recommend both? Is that individualized? What does that look like?
What happens is it's definitely individualized. Depends on what you want to do. I had one patient who finished one of my programs, and she didn't notice anything, for herself. And I said, really? And she said, no. I said, well, what did your husband say? She said, oh, he says that I'm a lot easier to deal with. I said, oh. I said, then what did your children say? Oh, they said that I'm able to follow them in the conversation, and I'm not wandering off and not paying attention. I said, oh, okay. So the results were happening, but she was not aware of them. And so, she wanted to continue on because her brain showed that it, needed a little bit more support. And I said, no. I said, I want you to just take a break, take a couple of months off, because, it's a commitment. And so she came back and she was like, okay, she said, I'm ready. And she, continued on. So it depends on what it is you want to do. But yes, it's all in what your goals are. Like if I do it once a week, I realized actually this week that I didn't have any sessions at all last month. And I was like, what was I doing? Apparently I was busy, but I have to put myself on the schedule. So I make sure that I take care of it's part of my self-care.
Taking care of myself. Exactly. Absolutely. Now, we're here in Atlanta. And so, and Dr. Candace and I we met through a networking group in Atlanta, but we only live, it's less than 10 minutes from each other. So, however, I've heard you say that you can work nationwide. And like, I have a friend who, Clarissa Constantine, has Parent Tween Connection, and she is a coach, like ACT, SAT coach, plus she has a networking group. And so I'm thinking I need to refer you to her, because you can work anywhere in the country, right?
Absolutely. So I work with colleagues that are in all the states, and the part that you have to have done inside the office can be done in their individual offices, and then they share the information with me, and I manage you in the case remotely. Okay. So it's totally possible. Absolutely. Okay. I just got off the phone today with someone who's in Tennessee, and who needs help with their son, and then I had a patient finish his program in Maryland. So it is fabulous. I'm just thankful that we have that capability now.
Yes.
It just opens up so many doors.
So the participant holds whatever device is streaming whatever, but is the program on the device, or the program, how does that work?
It is a computer-based program. It is a computer-based program. So the device hooks up to the computer. It can hook up to a tablet. Just a computer is preferable, because you want to have that large screen to do the training sessions. Absolutely.
Okay. So if if I'm out of town and I wanted to do the therapy, I could have it on my phone, or
you could take it. No, you could take the equipment with you. You just have to bring it back, of course, but you can take it with you. I've had people take it on vacations, or like you said, when they went out of town. And it's so simple. It can be contained in a little bag. It could be that, just
really,
and just connect all the parts to your computer. It's so portable. I love it.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. That's wonderful. When, and you and I've had this conversation offline. And so, I heard you initially, when I first met you, it was people who had head injuries, and, it was, like in my mind, it was like, because you were working with a lot of professional athletes. And so that's who I was thinking was, like who this was for. And then, recently I've heard you talking about people that have trauma. And so, honestly, Dr. Candace, it's almost like if you have a heartbeat and you have skin, then you probably have some sort of trauma, and there's some way that this therapy can benefit you, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you don't have to have trauma. Like, again, I'm thankful and blessed that I had a wonderful childhood, absent of trauma or abuses or anything like that. And apparently I'm in the minority, which is very unsettling for me. However, I use it for myself, again, for peak brain performance, just to relax. I had one of my friends call me after I finished the session. She said, well, did you just wake up? It's 11 o'clock from a nap. I said, no. I said, just finished a neurofeedback session. She said, you sound very relaxed. I said, I am. I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those traumas, those traumatic brain injuries, the concussions, and typically those childhood traumas get locked away in our brain somewhere. And as we get older, we can have triggers that open those floodgates. And that's when a lot of people don't know what to do at that point. So if you are interested in a drug-free method, because my goal is, if you are on medications, to have your brain be so transformed that you can get off of those and function just and be your very best self. That's my goal.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love all the different directions that it can go in. And I love this focus on wellness. So,
Yes.
if you turn illness into wellness, so the I becomes we, like the I in front becomes we, and so illness is, feels sick or feels less than, or feels like there's a deficit, or feels like something's wrong. And you say, let's focus on wellness. Let's focus on optimization. And it's just, I mean, even the color that you're wearing, like, you were such a joyful person. And this therapy really brings joy to people. I mean, look at it. Your daughter's first year in college.
Oh my gosh. I mean, she was struggling so badly. I was the one who was like, okay, college isn't for everybody. College isn't for everybody. I had to really work on that so that I would accept that, because that's the road that she was going down. And so and she was socially awkward. I mean, she has a host of friends. They were on the phone yesterday. Good Lord. I had to be 6 or 7 people on that call, and it's just a joy to see her go from where she was to where she is. And she's self-sufficient and independent and just excited about the future. I'm just so thankful. It was such a transformation. I'm like, oh my gosh, how many other people out there need this and don't even know that it exists?
Exactly. I had no idea. I literally had no idea. And, I just think about all the people that could be using you. And so for people, like, we have a mutual friend, Helen Panos, who owns a tutoring company. And so if Helen were to partner with you, then Helen could say, do you want more results out of your tutoring? And you could say, do you want more results out of your tutoring? And do you want more results in these other areas? So,
we've worked together. We've gone to events together and spoken at the same event. So absolutely. It all goes hand in hand. There's so many different, like you said, ways, the coaches, the tutoring sessions, tutors, the, just the ones who are counselors and the therapists, it's all encompassing. There's so many people, and I'm just thankful that there's a more positive light being shed on mental health and wellness, where back in the day, like, when we were growing up, it was hush hush and no one wanted to talk about it. So
no.
I'm so glad that stigma is gone, and it's getting better. Some people still have a challenge, but not as many as before, because we all have.
For me, like, what just getting to debt-free degree. So one way to earn scholarships is to do well on tests. So if one way to do well on tests is tutoring, but one way to enhance the tutoring and enhance the brain performance is then it all is leading to a debt-free degree. I mean, that's how I'm
Oh my gosh. And I wish, like you said, the things you wish you knew back then. Ooh.
Yes, exactly.
If I could have scored just a little higher on those ACTs and those SATs, it would have opened doors. It would have opened doors.
Right. And people see results in just even after a month of being in your therapy, right?
Yes. If they are a straightforward case, some people have metabolic issues going on, so hormones are not functioning properly, the levels are off, and so I have wellness affiliates who I work with that I refer people to, so they can handle that aspect of it, so that they can have the best results and chances for success. So yes.
Excellent, 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 excellent. Well, I, as always, could talk to you all day long, every day, because you are my dear friend and sister, but also just the amount of knowledge that you share. And, one of the things that that people associate with me is leading with love. And
Yes.
Dr. Candace, you exude it every single day. You exude love. You love your patients. You have a love for humanity to want to see them get this phenomenal therapy, and also in such a way it's delivered in love, like that lady that wasn't seeing the results but everybody around her was, and you were like, it's okay,
Yes.
let's take a break, and then when it's right for you, come on back. And
Yes.
she came back and she was like, oh, I totally see it.
Yes.
And so,
And it's lots of times when we're in it, we don't see it because we're in it. It's those who
right,
love us who tell us,
right.
and when she told me what her husband and her children said, I was kind of like, do I laugh or do I not? I was like, and she started laughing. I was like, okay. I'm like, I don't know. I want somebody to tell me
Yes.
that I'm better able to deal with, but okay, if it helps
Yes.
the marriage, hey, this is a
Exactly.
good byproduct.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
debt free degree beloveds, thank you for watching this with Dr. Candace Holmes, and I will be back next time with Pontification with a Pro. Bye-bye.